It's our duty to ensure that people do not lose faith in the system. It's when people lose faith in the system that you have all the insurgencies.
A strong voice for Nigerians to apply the brakes.
The troops conducted a very long-range patrol, but several recoveries were made.
More fire brings down terrorists. Checking communal crisis youth results. Plus, bids for crude oil sale in the open. Evening to you. Welcome to NTA Network News at 9. My name is Phil Obano. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has reiterated that Nigerians guard against plunging the country into ethno-religious crisis, stressing that security and a buoyant economy remain key in the Buhari's administration agenda. In a lecture at the National Defense College, explained that the weak criminal justice system is creating loopholes to evade consequences of wrongdoings. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has the report.
Shooting at the heart of the nation's economy. Incidences of militancy such as this is common in the Niger Delta region, from where the nation gets 90% of its foreign exchange earnings. Apart from the damage to critical infrastructure and the environment, the country has lost 60% of its foreign earnings, with the daily loss of 1 million barrels of oil. 40% of gas for power is also lost, resulting in low power generation. The negative impact of insurgency in northeastern parts of the country is said to have equally dealt blow on the Nigerian economy, gulping $9 billion and causing unemployment and restiveness of youths, among others. The point of President Muhammadu Buhari would have spent more on social welfare if reverse was the case, so says Acting President Yemi Osinbajo at a lecture titled Economic Dimension of National Economy, the Nigerian Experience. He says people should be ready to bear consequences for their actions and inactions, stressing that the criminal justice system should be up to this.
It's our duty to ensure that people do not lose faith in the system. It's when people lose faith in the system that you have all the insurgencies, all the problems, and the various things that tend to happen around us. And these, of course, are national security concerns that impinge on our capacity to be productive and impinge on our capacity to grow our economies the way it should. The civil justice system is the same. The system of civil justice, also very, very slow. When people want to steal resources, when they want to make good for themselves, they don't ask, are you Christian or Muslim? Are you South, South, or Southeast? It is when they want something for themselves, for their selfish reasons, that they start introducing all manner of other elements into it. And I think that we, as a people, must resist that temptation to slide into ethno-religious conflicts and problems. We already have enough problems as it is.
Government's Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, as explained by the acting president, is to prioritize key turnaround interventions and enablers in order to generate concrete, visible impact by end of 2017.
I believe that with genuine commitment on the part of all of us, every Nigerian, every player in the economy, Nigeria will be great again.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo also had an interactive session with the participants of the NDC Course 25. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
In continuation of operations to clear remnants of Boko Haram terrorists, troops of Operation Lafia Dole have intensified mop-up and ambush operations, where many were arrested and over 30 deaths recorded during various encounters. Theater Commander of Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Lucky Rabo, stated this while briefing the media. Maimuna Garuba has the report.
Troops of Operation Lafia Dole are not relenting on their quest to rid the northeast of terror activities, which continue with aggressive mop-up and ambush operations. The theater commander said troops successfully conducted mop-up operations at Sambisa, Dikwa, Monguno, Musamari, and Gulumbagana areas, among other locations.
Troops conducted a very long-range patrol, but several recoveries were made.
He said 13 suspected Boko Haram terrorists were apprehended. Among them was a foreign national from Mali, as well as bags of fertilizer concealed under the bags of sugar loaded in a truck going to Gomboru, and a truck loaded with materials believed to be used in making IEDs have also been arrested. Major General Lucky Erabo said in the last couple of days, troops have arrested and screened over 3,000 civilians suspected to be Boko Haram terrorists and 26 foreign nationals comprised of 17 Chadians and 9 Nigerians, while 5 Boko Haram terrorists have surrendered. Among them is Mohammed Abubakar from Hausari Wulgo in Borno State, whose one hand and a foot were amputated by the terrorists when he tried to denounce his membership in the group. While commenting on the RAN incident, the theater commander said investigations from the constituted board of inquiry established that the airstrike was a mistake, stressing that most of the wounded persons receiving treatment have stabilized.
With Nigerians looking up to the military to clear the remnants of Boko Haram terrorists, the theater command, Operation Lafia Dole, is assuring them of restoring complete normalcy in the northeast region. From the Military Command and Control Center, Maiduguri, Memuna Garba, NTA News.
Sambisa is not a tea party because you are coming eyeball to eyeball with the fighting men of the Nigerian armed forces who day and night are trying to finish the last remnants of Boko Haram. But we were in Sambisa forest trying to give you all the detail and comprehensive story that is going on there.
It is the story of NTA correspondent's journey to Sambisa, the first Nigerian journalists to be embedded within Nigerian soldiers to offer real-life perspectives on the ongoings at the fight against insurgency. Join us on Rogo at Large tomorrow Friday at 12:30 in the afternoon on the network service of the NTA for the full program. Thousands are in need of urgent humanitarian assistance following the recent crisis between herdsmen and farmers in Lao local government area of Taraba State. Ado Adamu also reports that many are taking refuge in different locations in the state.
When NTA News visited some IDPs camp in Jalingo and Yoru local government areas, it met a disturbing situation as people, mostly women and children, who fled from the crisis areas were seen in difficult conditions. The State Emergency Management Agency has already commenced the assessment and registration of victims for emergency relief services. The Executive Secretary of the Taraba State Emergency Management Agency, Naval Gadan Habu, during a visit to the camps, assured that the government is mobilizing effort to urgently meet the increasing needs of the IDPs.
They have been informed that relief materials will be delivered to me. Most of the items will arrive today.
Security agencies are working around the clock to achieve lasting peace in the area.
We will remain here till everybody obeys and goes back to their houses.
He added that a stakeholders' peace meeting convened in the area agreed to make the warring factions embrace peace. Ado Adamu also, NTA News.
The Senate ad hoc committee saddled with the responsibility of investigating the root cause of incessant killings in the southern part of Kaduna State has visited some communities in the area for dialogue and assessment of the situation. Zigwai Ayuba Gwani has the report.
The visit was to ensure that community stakeholders prefer solutions that are applicable to them for reconciliation rather than constantly presenting an unending narrative of the pattern of the killings, as that only hinders the return of peace and development to the southern part of Kaduna. Chairman of the Senate Ad Hoc Committee, Senator Kabiru Gaya, says solutions proffered by the people will be harmonized and submitted to the floor of the Senate for prompt intervention.
We assure you that we will go by what they want us to do, and that is the majority votes, and we will now advise the government, both the federal and the state government, on way forward to have peace.
During a parley with traditional leaders and some religious leaders, emphasis was made on the need to check negative narratives of some elites and the need to comb the hinterlands so as to fish out the perpetrators of the killings.
People have been dislodged here. Recommend to the government so that we get support. There should be another law, containing the activities of the social media
Security men are only on the road. And they don't kill people on the road. They kill people in the bushes.
The army, the police, they should tell us their rule of engagement in southern Kaduna.
The Senate Ad Hoc Committee visited Kagoro, Goska, and Dangoma communities for first-hand assessment while assuring the people that an interactive session aimed at arresting the situation will be held in Kaduna soon. In Kafancan, Zigwai Ayubagwani, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the police says its efforts in different operations to curtail in southern Kaduna have recorded major arrests and recovery of weapons. Force Public Relations Officer Jimo Mushud stated this in Abuja while parading 17 suspects in connection with the violence there. Also on display were 26 locally fabricated guns, 3 AK-47 and ammunitions.
All of them were involved in this act of inciting public peace, disturbance of public peace, causing mischief by fire, culpable homicide, and theft. Because these 17 suspects we are parading, including the Fulanis and the natives. Outside this, there are other suspects still currently under investigation, and all of them will be charged to court.
Minister of State Aviation Hadi Sirika has inaugurated a security subcommittee on the temporary closure of Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, with a stress on security of passengers and cargo shuttling between Abuja and Kaduna, beginning from Wednesday, March 8. Edino Justice has the reports.
Before the decision to close temporarily the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, for 6 weeks to allow for repairs and in the interim use Kaduna International Airport as alternative, Abuja-Kaduna Expressway was known for frequent accidents due to bad portions of the road and activities of armed robbers. All those have been taken care of now as repair works are ongoing and security surveillance improved. Minister of State Aviation Hadi Sirika says the formal inauguration of this security subcommittee shows government resolve to ensure security of life and property at airports, roads, and railway before, during, and after operations.
Security should be watertight. Your task is to be proactive and deal with any security challenge.
I want to assure you that we will collectively and in synergy carry out this responsibility.
In Abuja, Edino Justice, NTA News.
It has been observed that the value of confiscated crude oil and illegally refined diesel in Nigeria in 2016 amounts to more than 420 billion naira. Chief of Naval Staff Rear Admiral Ibok Eteibas said before the House of Representatives Committee on Navy while defending the 2017 budget of the service. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
The illegal crude oil seized in 2016 stands at 810 metric tons, while the illegally refined diesel was more than 1 million metric tons. Beside deterring criminal activities in the Nigeria's waterways, the Naval chief said Nigerian Navy contributes in no small measure towards providing enabling environment for the continued exploitation of the nation's oil and gas resources.
The major focus of the 2017 budget is mainly on the ongoing fleet renewal, infrastructure and capacity upgrade, amongst others.
Chairman of the committee, Abdusamad Dasuki, reiterated the commitment in the provision of legislative support to Nigerian Naval Service towards attaining national goals, especially in revamping the economy.
There is also an urgent need to ensure that budgetary allocation to the Navy is realistic and allows it to function effectively.
Maintenance effort to ensure increased availability of ships and helicopters along Nigeria's sea borders was mentioned among other achievements of the Nigerian Navy in 2016. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation says it is committed to ensuring transparency, accountability and efficient procurement processes in line with the anti-corruption stance of the administration. Group Managing Director of NNPC, Mekanti Baru, said this at the international bid opening of tenders for direct sale of crude oil and purchase of products. Lydia Sampson reports.
As part of the efforts to ensure bulk supply of petroleum products to the nation and 100% remittance of proceeds into the Federation account through direct sale and purchase of products, the NNPC advertised tender for prospective vendors to bid. Consequently, companies presented their bids, which led to this process where they are being opened in line with due process.
The DSDB program has also recorded significant cost savings over $500 million through major reduction in the amount we pay for both demurrage and the products.
The NNPC Group General Manager Crude Oil Marketing, Mele Kyari, had well reiterating the significance of partnering with reliable and technically competent off-takers, raised alarm over attempts by fraudsters to defraud individuals and organizations through bogus lifting and importation of Nigerian crude oil.
We don't have any agent anywhere. NNPC does not have any agent outside this building. Indeed, anywhere in the world.
128 companies bidded. Chief Operating Officer Corporate Services, Isa Inua, had declared open pre-qualification bids for supply and installation of generators for the NNPC tours. 29 companies bidded. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Current leadership of the National Assembly has refuted allegation of receiving the sum of 630 million naira for renting or renovating official residences as insinuated by a civil society organization. Senator Dino Milai noted that the Assembly's presiding officer cannot be part of such illegality. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Ziyanu has details.
A civil society organization, Citizens Action to Take Back Nigeria, has demanded immediate resignation of the Senate President, Speaker House of Representatives, Deputy Senate President and Deputy Speaker over allegations of collecting hundreds of billions of naira as first-line charge budget without knowledge of other members of the National Assembly. The alleged money was said to have come through the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA.
We want to state clearly that the four presiding officers of the National Assembly do not collect any money for rent, furniture, and renovation from the FCDA or any federal government agency for that matter.
National Assembly presiding officers are entitled to official accommodation, which is provided for by FCDA, which is the host of the National Assembly. In the meantime, Chairman Senate Committee on Customs and Tariff, Senator Hope Ozadimma, had an interactive session with past Comptroller Generals of Customs in Nigeria. The meeting aimed at fashioning out effective modalities and guidelines for better operations.
We felt that we need your advice and put it on record that we at least consulted critical stakeholders like you, who will speak from a position of experience and knowledge.
I would like to recommend to this committee and whoever is making and to the government that we should try to build capacity for our customs service.
Things that influence revenue generation are quite a lot. One, the fiscal policies themselves. Two, exchange rate has an effect on it. And the type of importations that are coming.
And big custom officers, ask them, are you a customs officer or a policeman in custom uniform? You tell me, I'm a proper custom officer. Then I'll ask, how many chapters in the tariff? To start scratching himself.
Meanwhile, Transportation Minister Chibuike Rotimi Amechi also defended budget of his ministry before the Senate Committee on Marine Transport, where he disclosed that Bond Terminal Kaduna has been upgraded to the status of a dry port, while that of Jos is in the stage of commissioning.
The expected benefits of ICDs are to assist in decongesting the seaports, as well as to act as a catalyst for improved trade flows, boost inland trading, revitalize the export of agricultural products, thus leading to multi-product economy.
Chairman Senate Committee on Marine Transportation, Sani Muhammad Yerima, pledged readiness to provide legislative assistance towards ensuring that allocations earmarked for the sector are well spent.
We shall express our dissatisfaction to any chief executive agency that will not be up to date. The maritime sector has the potentialities to contribute greatly towards the process of fully resuscitating our economy.
Budget defense organized by standing committees continues Friday. From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayanu, NTA News.
Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Bonaya Ono, says the Buhari administration is working towards the correction of the infrastructural imbalance in the Southeast zone. It was while receiving a delegation of Southeast traditional rulers in his hometown, Uburu, Ebonyi State. Charles Igboamalu reports.
Dr. Ono said the Buhari government has no agenda to marginalize any section of the country and urged Ndibo to give the administration maximum support. The minister said that the commencement of work on the second Niger Bridge and the award of contracts for the rehabilitation of the Enugu-Onitsha and the Enugu-Port Harcourt federal routes are serious indicators of the federal government's determination to correct the infrastructural imbalance in the Southeast zone.
We are all very concerned about the well-being and the welfare of the people of the Southeast. This administration is already working in that direction. What is needed is to further mobilize.
The Science and Technology Minister advised Ndibo to embrace the Buhari government. He congratulated the new President General of Anez Ndibo, Dr. John Nyanwodo, on his election. On the forthcoming local government election in Ebonyi State, Dr. Onu said his party, the APC, is yet to decide on his participation. Leader of the delegation and chairman of Southeast Traditional Rulers Council, Eze Eberechi Dick from Abia State, said their visit was a solidarity one to support the minister in his quest for a better Nigeria. From Uburu, Charles Igboamalu, NTA News.
The Buhari Campaign Organization has advised Nigerians to shun the planned peaceful protests by a musician, Two-Face Idibia. The group says it is a distraction to the efforts of the administration to make things right in Nigeria. This was during a media briefing by the national coordinator of the organization, Ali Idris Brady. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Kudu has this report.
You have brains. Use your head. You don't allow these politicians to come and use you. Come on, enough is enough. We need to join hands with the government. That is just the only thing.
Since the youth are the target in the planned protest, the view of Victor was the focus of the media briefing, advising them not to allow themselves to be used. The national coordinator of the Buhari Campaign Organization highlighted many achievements of the present administration in the area of security in the northeast and the nation at large, agricultural revolution, and sanitizing the economy in the fight against corruption as enough reasons to support the government. He stated that what government and Nigeria need now are prayers and cooperation for a prosperous nation, a point corroborated by the youth leader.
Last year, there was massive recruitment, mostly in the Nigerian police force. All we need to do is just to join hands with the government.
The musician Two-Face Idibia plans to hold peaceful protests in 4 cities of Lagos, Abuja, Kano, and Port Harcourt, which the Lagos Police Command says could be hijacked by miscreants to harm innocent people. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Our first break is due. When we return, checking medical tourism and cancer. Stay tuned.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this. and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
Get the best deal in town. Glo is giving away 4G LTE smartphones absolutely free. Get this super stylish 4G LTE smartphone free when you buy a 48,000 Naira data bundle. This stunning 4G LTE smartphone free when you buy a 60,000 Naira data bundle. Or this state-of-the-art 4G LTE smartphone free when you buy a 75,000 Naira data bundle. The ideal phones for 4G, 3G and 2G. Plus, with Glo, you always enjoy 4G for the same price as 3G. Hurry to the nearest Glo World for the best deal in town. Welcome to the new speed of life.
The Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, invites all civil service pensioners who retired under the old pension scheme in the South states of Cross River and Akwa Ibom to their verification exercise. The verification is scheduled to hold as follows: Calabar, 6th to 13th February, Uyo, 6th to 15th February 2017. Pensioners are advised to come along with their necessary documents as advertised in the Vanguard newspaper of February 2nd and This Day newspaper of 3rd February 2017. For more information, visit our website at www.ptad.gov.ng. Call PTAD toll-free number on 0800 call PTAD or 0800 2255 7823. Pensioners in Delta and Edo states are kindly requested not to come for this verification, as the dates and locations for their verification exercise will be advertised in due course. Signed, Management.
The federal government's social investment program has begun. The poorest and most vulnerable in the land get 5,000 Naira monthly, and Phase 1 has started in 9 states of the Federation. 200,000 unemployed graduates have been engaged in the N-Power Volunteer Corps, designed to engage 500,000 people. 5.5 million children will be fed regularly in the homegrown school feeding program, which kicked off in 3 states last year, with 9 more to be added this year. And under the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, thousands of cooperatives, market women, farmers, and enterprising youth have been receiving between 10,000 and 100,000 Naira soft loans since November 2016. The Social Investment Program has begun. It can only get better. We promise change. Change is here.
The Senate Committee on Poverty Alleviation and Social Welfare wishes to invite the general public to a one-day public hearing on the Constituency's Development Catalyst Fund Bill. Special guest of honor, Senator Dr. Bukola Saraki, CON, Senate President. Date: Monday, 6 February 2017. Time: 10 a.m. prompt. Venue: Senate Conference Hall, 022, Senate New Building. For copies of the bill and other inquiries, contact the committee's secretariat on 0803-314-0159. Signed, Senator Malam Ali Wakili, MNI, Committee Chairman. Supported by UK Aid and Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, PLAG.
The Future Assured project and its components Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening, educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships, and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With Future Assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Okay, sir. You may now go in for your interview.
Thank you.
Ah, my shoe. And to think I just bought this very expensive foreign shoe 2 months ago.
So sorry about your shoes. This is why I advise my friends.
to always patronize made in Nigeria products. See this shoe. It's made in Nigeria, and I've had it for 2 years, and it's still as good as the day I bought it.
Made in Nigeria products are good quality, and stringent government regulations and certification now mean the goods made in Nigeria meet international standards. Make the patriotic choice today. Buy right. Buy Made in Nigeria.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Thanks for staying tuned to NTA News at 9. Ondo State Assembly has appealed to the federal government to intervene in the lingering leadership crisis destabilizing the House. It was at the plenary session by a factional leader of the Assembly, Olubukola Aduwo, reports.
Reacting to the closure of the legislative arm in the state, the factional spokesperson, who is also the chairman House Committee on Information, Mr. Olushiji Akindiose, while speaking with newsmen, maintained that the impeachment process did not follow due process, describing it as illegal. He said that the 15 million naira found with the paymaster of the House, Mr. Shino Makonjola, was meant for specific projects.
We are not comfortable with closure of the assembly, and it's regrettable. It's regrettable.
In a swift reaction, the other faction, led by Mr. Ogundeji Roju, said it was not true that 10 lawmakers impeached the Speaker, Deputy and Majority Leader. He presented the impeachment notice, which was signed by 20 members.
Despite the fact that the House had been sealed, we remain the authentic members and the leadership of the state, Ondo State House Assembly.
Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police in Ondo State, Ira Ibifuro Harrison, said the House was shut in order to forestall possible breakdown of law and order in and around the Assembly complex. In Akure, Olubukola Aduwo, NTA News.
29 civil servants who were winners at the groundbreaking ceremony of the Federal Integrated Staff Housing Program, FISH, have been presented with allocation and offer letters. This was at a one-day housing finance workshop in Abuja. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday has the details.
These are some key players in the housing sector who converged on Abuja from within and outside Nigeria, united in purpose towards providing affordable housing for Nigerians in line with the present administration's plan and quest to make life better for all. Mrs. Oyo Ita presented the offer letters to the lucky beneficiaries following the groundbreaking ceremony held in August last year.
The housing policy of this administration, we can start it with the federal civil servants themselves, who are the workhorses for government.
30 lucky lottery winners, 16 of them chose brains and hammers. I think that speaks for itself.
I thank God. I'm so grateful that I'm among those that won the house.
The theme of the workshop is delivering affordable housing for federal civil servants. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
Medical tourism in Nigeria has continued to bother well-meaning Nigerians who wonder why the best brains are not considered in decision-making. That is why rescue missions to provide state-of-the-art diagnostic centers at medical centers like the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, Enugu, by concerned persons. Chiegonu Aru has the report.
Many teaching hospitals in Nigeria today have qualified professionals, but lack modern medical facilities needed for quality health service delivery. In the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, world-class health caregivers abound, but critical technological equipments are lacking, such as cancer detecting and treatment machines, CT scan, MRI, and an intensive care unit. This situation attracted a philanthropist, Prince Atueze, who was conducted around the Cardiothoracic Center by the Chief Medical Director, pledged to build and equip an ultra-modern diagnostic center for the UNTH.
The problem is the lack of good equipment and other facilities. The hospital is dirty, but the brains working here, the brains are not dirty. I've told them that I'm going to do that. I build it for them. I'm not building it for themselves as individuals. Build it for the safe life of our people.
The Chief Medical Director, Dr. Christopher Ama, expressed gratitude to Prince Eze, who also offset medical bills of some indigent patients, while the entire staff got a whopping sum of 50 million naira.
Thank God that I remember that Ondo is from this part of the country.
In Enugu, Chiegonu Aro, NTA News.
And still staying with medical matters, most cancer treatment centers in Nigeria lack modern diagnostic equipment and personnel for the treatment of rising cases of cancer in the country. This was the view of oncologists on Good Morning Nigeria as they discussed cancer awareness, prevention and treatment. Gufan Shaji has the report.
Cancer is not just a health condition, but a disease with far-reaching social and economic implications. In Nigeria, breast and cervical cancers are some of the commonest among women, while prostate cancer is more prevalent in men. The specialists say there is an urgent need for the government to set up standard oncology centers, upgrade facilities, and engage trained personnel to fight against this deadly disease.
As we are presently in the country, cancer is like a death sentence. Whether you present early or late, we do not have the equipment to manage it.
Government should fund vaccination for all the citizens against these common cancers that are preventable by vaccination.
At least 230 highly qualified Nigerian oncologists in the diaspora. Nigeria is the only country that has this type of expertise.
They stress the need for more aggressive awareness at the grassroots about the disease, especially the causative factors, preventive measures, likely treatment options, and the availability of radiotherapy machines.
It's unimaginable that 2 months ago, there was no single machine in this country. Cancer care should be provided to the common people.
The experts therefore stress the need to make constitutions suitable for Nigerian oncologists abroad to return and deploy their knowledge and experience in fighting cancer. In Abuja, Kufan Shaji, NTA News.
And if the National Health Act of 2014 is to be fully implemented, medical tourism would be a thing of the past, as this will ensure universal health coverage. President, National Association of Resident Doctors of Nigeria, Dr. Onyebueze John, who said this while interacting with the management of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, commended the authority for objective reportage on health issues. Olai Kauju has the story.
The National Health Act is to achieve quality and accessible health care for all Nigerians. Explaining that medical doctors across the Federation are always willing to render health services to save lives, Dr. Onyebueze John said their welfare must be given priority, appealing to government to enroll resident doctors into the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System and the Contributory Pension Scheme, among other issues.
We do not intend for our crisis to escalate into strife.
Director General NTA, represented by Executive Director Programs Eugenia Abu, pledging NTA's continuous support through its news and programs, urged the resident doctors to ensure reduction in maternal and infant mortality.
If a woman dies because she does not want to see a male doctor, there's a problem. If the distance between when she's in labor and the hospital is very far, then it's easy for her to bleed to death. So these are important areas that you must look at while you are doing your advocacy and put it on the table as part of the work that you do.
National Association of Resident Doctors of Nigeria has 72 chapters across the country. In Abuja, Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
So much for health matters. The National Youth Service Corps NYSC has reiterated resolve towards ensuring corps members have a reliable source of economic empowerment during and after their service year. Director General Brigadier General Suleiman Kazari said this when he visited the 2016 Batch B Stream 2 corps members at Wailu Camp in Bauchi. Correspondent Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed has the report.
Brigadier General Kazaure, who noted that already the scheme have established 2 skills acquisition centers in Ekiti State for Southwest and Gombe for Northeast says efforts are on the way to establish more in other geopolitical zones of the nation. According to him, the era for seeking white-collar job is over, hence the need to mold the core members to be productive.
We are into collaboration with CBN and Bank of Industries. We are into collaboration. They are ready to give us loan for our core members. So startup fund is not a problem to us.
He therefore charged the core members to shun all forms of bad acts and respect the culture and traditions of their host communities. Apart from its main mission of promoting peace and unity among Nigerians, the National Youth Service Corps scheme has over the years instilled in the minds of Nigerian youth the spirit of self-reliance and effective participation in nation building. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
Professionals in land and survey industry have expressed concern over inadequate surveyors to man Nigeria's land mass of about 1 million square kilometers and just less than 4,000 surveyors. So, what is the way forward? Let's now join Mia Ogidi, who attended induction of members into the Surveyors Council of Nigeria.
Geospatial information is one of the fundamentals for national development, as every projection depends on the data generated by the surveyor.
If we don't have a good number of surveyors to really put in their professional expertise into this building and construction, into even collapse of buildings or structures.
Gathered in this hall are members of the surveying family for the 2016-2017 induction of new members.
We are in a hurry to produce quality surveyors that will feed the land space and make a quackery a thing of the past.
We are appealing to government to fund the mapping agencies properly.
It's not to bring hardship, but to ensure standards in line with global best practices.
Yes, before the end of the year, we will see the trend that the crashes will have dropped. Once we can get this achieved, I think the country will be much better. If we can cut down the speed of all these tankers going at that top speed, it's not that crashes will be fully eliminated, but the severity will drop. And all those mini buses that are just wasting lives, we must do something.
Over 2,000 commercial vehicles have been booked for violation since enforcement of speed limit device began 1st of February. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA News at 9. It's over now to Lagos for a topical matter there. Vera will lead us.
Thank you, Phil. Good evening. This is Lagos. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has signed into law the Anti-Kidnapping Bill recently passed by the State House of Assembly. Nusa Usla reports.
At the signing ceremony held at Lagos House in Ikeja, Governor Ambode said the spate of kidnapping in the state had gotten to a level that required decisive action from government, hence the need for the enactment of the law to send serious message to perpetrators of such heinous crime.
When we use this law to address the challenge of kidnapping and punishing criminals, we're also putting in place appropriate measures, particularly in our schools and other vulnerable targets, to prevent security breaches. The Sports Commission law will give legal backing to the formulation and implementation of sports policies in the state.
Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, who was represented by the majority leader of the House, Honorable Sanai Agubiade, said it was particularly gratifying to note that the anti-kidnapping law was an all-encompassing one, which prescribes punishments for the actual actors, those that collaborate, aid and abet, and those who seek the act of kidnapping being perpetrated and do nothing about it.
We are delighted that legislative efforts by the Assembly is now to be signed by the governor so as to transform the intendment of the government into a full-fledged law.
The governor also signed the Sports Trust Fund Bill and the Sports Commission Bill into law, explaining that the laws were enacted to address key issues bordering on security and effectively harnessing the potentials in the sports sector. In Lagos, Nusa Usula, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. It's time to pause for some messages. The news returns shortly. Please stay with us.
Ask me how I get to practice my accent. Check this out. Baba T, how you doing now?
Bovie, I'm rich, but your phone bill must be huge.
Man, I can call just about anywhere.
It's fantastic. Maybe I should come.
Oga Jensen, how are you?
I'm just looking at buying another house. They get so expensive.
Oh, I feel so sorry for you.
Hello?
Mama Charlie House?
Bovie, I told you not to phone me after 5.
Yes, Mom.
Bovie, have you not run out of voice and data yet?
No wahala. With Glo, I can call everywhere in Nigeria and up to 30 international destinations for just 11 kobo per second.
11 kobo per second? In today's economy?
Let me tell you a joke about your hair, Prof. Hello, Prof.
Enjoy the lowest rates in town. Plus, get 20 minutes of free data. Dial *211# now.
The largest data network, Glo, grandmasters of data.
This is not just a pitch. This is not just another kid. This is where I found my inspiration. This is where I learned I can stand on my own. But that together, we can fly. This is the school of life. This is where champions are made.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
And back to Abuja now, Central Bank of Nigeria sells more dollars in a move to stabilize the economy. Let's join Muplang Dakok for details of this and more on the Business News segment.
Thanks for joining me on Business News. We begin with the bill to establish a warehouse regulatory agency for Nigerian farmers in the Warehouse Receipts and Other Related Matters Bill of 2016, which passed second reading in January. When established, the bill will empower Nigerians as it backs patronage of locally made goods and production for export.
How it works is that the commodity will first of all be produced to export standard. And so when it is taken to the warehouse, the standard requirement must be met before it is accepted. And once it is accepted, that means that product can be sold anywhere. It's a project that every state should be anxious, every local government should be anxious to get.
In a bid to spur growth and revive the country's economy, the Central Bank of Nigeria has sold $660 million in 3 and 5 months currency forwards at an auction aimed at clearing a backlog of dollar demand. This is the first major dollar sales this year as dollar shortage prolongs. In another development, the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, says the country plans to apply for a $1 billion loan from the World Bank once lawmakers approve this year's budget. The loan, which is expected to help plug fiscal deficit forecasts, will be marketed by 2 commercial banks. Finally, on the segment is a look at closing figures of equities on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, which closed on a positive note. That does it on Business News. Thanks for watching. I am Muplang Dakok.
We pause again for more messages We will be back.
Going to Sambisa is not a tea party because you are coming eyeball to eyeball with the fighting men.
For details of this story, link up with Rogo at Large this Friday at 12:30 p.m. on the network of the Nigerian Television Authority.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerola. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with
Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe admonishes African Union leaders over Morocco. For more global tidbits, let's join Talatu Ezirike.